All right. So now that I got my shit set up. Hello, hey there, hey. I know I just got off this shit, but I want to say I came across this damn video. But I thought it was interesting, and I wanted to, before I go any further, I want to break it down with you all. I want to break down this video, and I also want to break down what is trained versus taught. And boundaries. Boundaries are more important than they ever been right now. And this, like, what's unfolding with the world and shit like that, is just people are really losing their damn minds. People are really losing their minds because the logic ain't logicking no more. The sense ain't sensing no more. Motherfucker, goddamn, it made no damn sense. I'm gonna tell you. That's all I can do. Like, I'm going back to what I used to do, which is just laugh. Just laugh at every fucking thing because it'd be fucking hilarious. It's just hilarious. It's just hilarious at how people think nowadays, or don't. The lack of, like, they'll think so damn deeply that they ain't got no damn thought. It's like, you really thought about that and you still thought about bullshit the whole way through. So the first topic is I noticed that when you start to set boundaries for yourself, like when you start to respect yourself more and you don't allow certain things in your atmosphere that you might have used to done, like people pleasing, or, people pleasing can be an example of, if you go to somebody's house and every time you go to that person's house, they're like, can you wash my dishes? Can you look after my kids? Can you do my hair? And you'd be like, okay, sure. Like, from your point of view, you're thinking, oh, I don't mind, I need something to do anyway. But this person is, like, literally using you. And that's why they keep you around, because they know that, oh, they won't put up a fuss. They're willing to just help. They're always willing to just help. So I might as well use them to the extent that they'll allow me to use them. But as soon as you go to the person's house and they're asking you to wash dishes, wash their kids, or do their hair, and you say, well, I don't feel like that today. Well, actually, could you help me out with my dishes? Would you mind watching my children? Now they're getting offended because you're seeking out reciprocal energy. You didn't mind helping out. But when you're asking for some energy to be returned in exchange, there's a motherfucking problem. You see what I'm saying? Outside of that, another boundary can be letting people come and go as they please. When you no longer let someone come and go as they please, and you let someone know that, hey, over here, I require consistency, which means that you won't be sitting over here for too long if you're not consistent. You know what I'm saying? If I require time, then you need to put in the time. If time is, let's say even if it's not a romantic relationship, even if it's a platonic relationship and your love language is time, if that person isn't giving you time, let's say, like, okay, they'll come over, they'll stay for 15, 30 minutes, and you feel as though there's some sense of lacking every time they leave because you didn't feel it, you didn't get what you required. Let they ass go. But it just be so crazy how when you start to respect your boundaries, people start to look at you like, you're the bad guy. You must be the bad guy. How dare you start to respect yourself and not let people take advantage of you? What's wrong with you? Bitch, I would be by myself to the end of time before I allow people to try to gaslight me, take advantage of me, instigate any issues, not take accountability. There's a long list of shit. I'd be damned. So yeah, boundaries are very, very important. And it's funny how when you start to have boundaries and you start to respect your boundaries, you'll find yourself alone. Ain't that fucking interesting? When you actually start, and another thing too is it's the shift of when you start to live even more in your truth of, wait, I'm not a motherfucking people pleaser. Even if I was a people pleaser at that time in my life, I'm not anymore. So therefore, you're going to have to respect me for who I am at this moment, motherfucker. Or you can get lost, motherfucker. Because at this time, it's my way or the highway. And that shit, that'll blow a motherfucking mind when They used to use you all the time, and now they can't get nothing, not even a damn dime. Yeah, I did that. I was playing. But you get what I'm saying, though? Like, they'll be personally offended that you decide to not overgive yourself. And they're personally offended because now they actually have to put in effort or get the fuck from around you. And either way, they're still going to be mad because they're going to feel like, well, who do you think you are that I can't be around you? Bitch, I never said you couldn't, but you didn't want to put in the effort. You didn't want to put in the work. You didn't want to take accountability for your actions. You didn't want to own up to your fucking mistakes. So no, you can't be around me until we can actually have that fucking discussion of where do you see this going and how are you not going to do this again? You know what I'm saying? I just can't. I'm not going to waste my time. And then it gets to the point of like, humans, I just get tired of humans, you guys. Because y'all y'all be having all kind of we all got egos. That's a fact. I know that for a fact because I definitely have an ego that I'm constantly putting in check. Constantly just bringing balance to my ego. Though, let me say, I've been playing with y'all for too fucking long. And so don't mind me as I step into my motherfucking ego because when that shit actually, like when I allow myself permission to not give a fuck about any of y'all, like anybody's opinion and shit, y'all definitely gonna be mad. Y'all gonna be calling me the next Kanye because that'd be the thing too. Like a woman or especially like a bigger person shouldn't have, like you shouldn't be confident in yourself, and people get offended that you have the audacity to be so confident in yourself when you look like that. And when they say when you look like that, you're like, what the fuck do you mean look like that? Fat. Wow. That's why I was so glad to find this beautiful lady. Oh, let me show you my beautiful lady. Because sometimes you do need representation. And she's still a bad bitch. This is a representation of the baddest bitch, right? Oh, look at that. Well, what you look at here, that's a representation of the baddest bitch. Okay? Look at the baddest bitch you'll ever come to know, okay? But yeah. Miss Venus Willendorf, okay? One of the baddest bitches. Fattest bitches, you know. Okay, all that back. That ain't just ass back there, that's back. And the kneecaps, okay? Yes, you can put it back there. You put it in my kneecap. It's deep, okay? I got pockets and belly buttons, okay? But point being is that y'all finna be in for a grand motherfucking awakening. Y'all finna be in for the shock of your life with the way that the balance of the world is going right now. Because the divine feminine is definitely rising. And while that happens, it's funny to see who holds fast to their ego and who becomes misled in this shit. You know, be careful of being misled because that shit is horrible. But my point, that was one of my points, is the boundary aspect. So now I want to get to the second point, which is breaking down this ignorance in this motherfucking video. So it says women know men better than men. Facts or no? What level of insanity is this? Check out the full conversation at the podcast. It's called Sipping with Sammy. So no, I'm not checking out the full conversation. I'm just going to go in with the clip that I have present.
I'm the one in the locker room. I know a clown when I see one quicker than a woman does. Because they marry.
We're going to listen and then we're going to break it down.
Call him a clown or a weirdo, but then as soon as y'all break up, you can get on Facebook and call him a clown or a weirdo.
And at that point, I'm on his side because you like him. Now he ain't shit. He never was shit.
And he got a little dick.
Been in your mouth how many times?
For 8 years. How? But now I'm supposed to be on your side. Bitch, no.
And you're bucking because women are co-signing it. You've been with so many men that you know men better than I know men, and I'm the one in the locker room. I know a clown when I see one quicker than a woman does, because they marry him.
And how come it's not okay for me to call him a clown or a weirdo, but then as soon as y'all break up, you can get on Facebook and call him a clown or a weirdo?
And at that point, I'm on his side, because you like him. Now he ain't shit. He never was shit.
And he got a little dick.
Been in your mouth how many times?
For 8 years. How? But now I'm supposed to be on your side. Bitch, no.
And you're bucking because women are co-signing it.
Okay, pause. Oh, I got a lot. I got some things to say. Let me tell you. Man. So let's just try to break this down and address one situation at a time. Obviously, these are just highlights from a full podcast. So they're just snippets of what they were saying. But in these snippets, we're going to address a few topics. Okay.
Many men that you know men better than I know men, and I'm the one in the locker room. I know a.
So he said, you've been with so many men that you know men better than I know men. Now, we can break that down to where he's trying to insinuate that the person or woman that he's speaking of is some sort of a whore. Obviously, maybe he's insinuating that this person or this woman was sexually involved with all of these men, because somehow, how could you know all about men if you haven't slept with hundreds or 50 or however many, a lot of men, right? He's confused at how can you understand the psychology of a man when you aren't in the locker room with these men. As if psychology isn't a topic of study, as if a woman can't know a man or a man's quality, right? I'll say this, that some women prefer to be in a male's company, and even in some cases around male friends, because there's a sense of protection there. There's a sense of camaraderie that isn't always embedded. Like sometimes when you're with a whole bunch of women do like to gossip. Men gossip as well, but the way that women gossip is very much so like it's catty, it's backbitey, it's type of like it's like collecting information just to kind of tear each other down sometimes. And so a woman who prefers to be around male's company know that the energy is usually like more lighthearted. They'll joke, they'll talk their shit, but usually it's like lighthearted. It's not necessarily like always coming from like a concrete place, right? They have a more carefree manner, right? Now, with that being said, they don't always say things that are favorable. But I don't believe that just because a woman has more experience with like hanging out with men or, feeling more comfortable in male's company, that somehow, some way she's supposedly no good because she knows too much about men. And you're assuming that, well, if she knows this about men, then she obviously have dealt with a lot of men. And that's not always the case. Maybe she's seen a lot of experiences, with people and their men. And so she could have learned that way.
When I see one quicker than a woman does, because they marry him.
And how come it's not okay for me to call him a clown or a...
Now, so he said he recognized a clown quicker than a woman does. I can vouch. I can understand why that would be a thing, as far as, you can kind of see like those, like a woman kind of knows how a woman acts when she's in love. So if a woman's looking at another person's relationship, she's like, oh, that girl don't love him. She's just kind of like around for the moment. 333. Yeah, that girl, like you could tell when certain things. Now, don't get me wrong. Not every woman is the same. So some woman might be like, oh, what? She's a girl? Like, what? I would never do that. Like, everybody isn't the same. So we can't just put all women and all men in one category. So yes, what one man might prefer might not be what the other one prefers, and vice versa. What one woman prefers or does may not be the exact same thing as what another woman does. So yeah, I can see like how him being a man, 14 can see like that clown ass, like, no, you could tell like that man ain't really a man. But what's funny about that is shit, you recognize a bit of yourself in that clown. I'm just, is that a possibility?
Weirdo. But then as soon as y'all break up, you can get on Facebook and call him a clown or a weirdo.
And at that point, I'm on his side because you like.
So she goes on to say, how can you be with this person? And so apparently they're not a clown or a widow, but when you break up with them, all of a sudden they're a clown and they're a weirdo. And then that's just as simple as people change. People put on facades to lure you in and keep a facade to kind of keep you. You know what I'm saying? So thus far as maybe that's made him a clown because you were portraying a facade, motherfucker. And now I realize who you really are, which is a fucking clown and a gesture. And then we got to stop acting like people can't have relationships and these relationships don't develop, and sometimes they develop poorly, you know? So why are we acting as if people don't change, either for the good or the better? I mean, look, well, that's what I change for. I either change for good or better. But some people change for better or for worse, right? Some people don't get better. Some people actually get worse. So if you get into a relationship with somebody at a point in time where things were probably good because both people put their best foot forward, but then eventually there's a lack on someone's part. So, you know, either there's a lack, but I think that when you say clown, that's coming from like you discovered something that you weren't expecting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't expect for this person to be a clown ass, weird ass person because you were taking emphasis on the good traits. You know, you could have possibly even ignored some of the bad traits. So as you start to own the truth of the situation of like, wait a minute, this motherfucker's damn a clown. Like, wait a minute, wait. You a whole ass clown, but you didn't show these colors before. Like slowly but surely, your fucking clown makeup started to come back on. Well, I don't know.
Now he ain't shit. He never was shit.
And he got a little bit.
Been in your mouth how many times?
For 8 years.
Now he ain't he wasn't never Yeah, so I do feel like, of course, people, when they break up, they're going to get petty. So there can be some things that are said that may not necessarily be true. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, people might call names and people have their own freaking perspective of what happened. So one person's narrative is not going to be the same as the other person's narrative because they both had different perspective, which means that that person could feel like she was wrong and he could feel like she was wrong and she could feel like he was wrong. And now both of y'all just damn fools, or there could be truly just one fool who won't hold accountability, right? But more so, she said something about sucking little Peter Weeder. Now, this is where we come into the train and the learn, you know? Because when a woman is, so like I said, trained versus taught, excuse me. That got to me. And yeah, it took me somewhere. You know, due to personal experience, I would say that she was like, after 8 years, yeah, you want somebody to have sympathy? No, not for me. I don't necessarily need anybody to have sympathy, but I'll just advocate for those who have had these expectations put on themselves as well. So in society, women are trained to be of service to their spouse. We are trained and we are groomed from, you know, childhood basically to be taught that having a spouse means you must cater to this person and you must put your needs to the side in order to please your man, to make sure that the man is satisfied. It's funny that men are scared of marriage when there's an indication of, like, you know, men having to please the woman. And then there's also this expectation of a woman having to please a man in certain ways. So if you are a woman who is not yet ready to give up on their relationship because you see that you're trying to be devoted to the situation, or you're trying to be loyal to your partner, you're not stepping out, so you're just dealing with what you got to deal with. See, some people have erectile dysfunction. You know, some people got the ED where they don't know how to get it up. So does that mean that you love this person any less while they're going through a hardship? Probably you do. I'm just kidding. But as I'm saying is that if you are in the mindset of, I still want to be with this person or try to make this work, you might put yourself in a position to be licking on a Vienna sausage, you know? I mean, it just is what it is, you know? Sometimes, like I said, so this is why I say that women are trained, because we're trained to please others outside of our own wants. You see what I'm saying? Like, his satisfaction is supposedly more important than a woman's needs. And that's pretty much how society has based it, to where, especially sexually, it's more important for a man to get theirs. It's more important for a woman to make sure that her man is sexually satisfied. So yeah, she might not be complaining about the Peter until they done, because shit, when you together with somebody, you ain't finna be ditching out you ain't shit. You were trying to work with, you was working with what you had. You know what I'm saying? Shit, but shit, when you recognize that that's not what you deserve, you realize, okay, I don't deserve 3 inches. I truly deserve 8. You know what I'm saying? You just recognize your worth. And we both grow in the relationship. Well, you hope that both parties grow. But as you grow and you recognize, the truth of who you are, or even changing. So you could have even known the truth of who you are when you got with this person. Let's say you got with this person at 23 and now you're 27. And though you know exactly who you were at 23, you have changed. We all change inevitably, right? Some of us change for the worse and some of us change for the better. So if you've been growing and that person is stagnant, then of course you've outgrown the relationship. You guys could both be growing and you can both outgrow a relationship. But yeah, just them mentioning that, like, it is a woman's choice to identify that she doesn't first have to put her needs to the side. That's an important thing that we have to really get out there, is that a woman shouldn't have to put her needs or her desires to the side in order to be respected, in order to be catered to, in order to be, loved on. And she must know this for herself, that she doesn't have to do as expected. Like, some people expect to have sex every day, or they don't want to be with you, or something. Like, if you don't have sex with me every day, then I'm going to leave you. Like this pressure that we have on these women, 22. There's a lot of pressure put on women to be like a servant damn near. Be a good servant, cook my meals, clean my clothes, okay? Make sure you wash these dishes. No. Because when you become a partner, motherfucker, partner, it's a partnership, which means you do work, I do work. We do work together. There's not one person serving the other extensively. 333. That's why I say, like, about the boundaries. So yes, it's important for a woman to identify and recognize her boundaries and then stand firm in those. And it's really sad sometimes how you have women who truly have been with men for 16 plus years who still have bent their boundaries for the sake of society, I guess, for the sake of not ruffling that person's family, because how dare she talk back to him? What? The shit is just ignorance. So I think that's pretty much the end of the video.
But now I'm supposed to be on your side. No.
And you're bucking because women are co-signing it. You've been with
Okay. So yeah, so she don't have to be on nobody's side. The little girl talking about I'm supposed to be on your side. No, you be on whatever the fuck you feel your truth is, girl. But I'm just here to advocate for those of us who tried to be an example of shit. We tried to give the men in society what they expected, right? But I don't think that that's to any fault of that woman personally, as we all have to learn to break societal norms and come into our own power and recognize our strength, identify our strength, that you don't have to settle for that type of behavior. We do have to compromise within relationships, but you don't have to settle for someone feeling entitled. Nor do you have to feel like outside of them feeling entitled, because your person might not have been entitled. The person could have been just regular, but you could have had some sort of pressure as a woman to do certain things to keep a man happy. Because like I said, even at a early young age, women are taught to be pleasers, So it says that teaching is more theoretical and abstract, while training, when hands-on, is more hands-on and practical. Teaching seeks to impart knowledge and provide information, while training is intended to develop abilities. So yeah, training is kind of like to show someone something in order to be of service to you, right? Whereas to being taught or learning for thyself is something that, like, how was I going to say this? So being taught or seeking knowledge for self is something like more respectable, versus being trained is like somebody is trying to control you, right? So yeah, like someone who wants to teach you or taught you whatever is somebody that respects you, and who wants to, give you certain information, or to help aid in the information that you're receiving, to kind of support you on that journey of learning, right? Versus somebody who wants to train you, kind of seeking like a control of do this and do that and do this and do that, of how shit, right? When we go to jobs, we have to be trained. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm going to teach you this. No, they're training you this. So yeah, the main difference is that teaching is the process of sharing knowledge, right? Teaching is the process of sharing knowledge and experience. Okay. While training stresses on skills and ability. Okay. So yeah, I just had to speak my little 2 pence after saying that shit, and shit, 26. Just a lot of other things I've been noticing about this male's entitlement, especially towards a woman. It's scary. It's a bit scary how entitled some people feel. Even like I said, a man has said things like, if she doesn't want to be touched, she shouldn't wear, like things like that, as if he can have even if she was a whore. You know what I'm saying? Even if she was butt ass naked, I don't feel like you should be able to touch anybody you want to touch just because they're naked without invitation or without consent. They'd be like, well, if she didn't want to be touched, she wouldn't have dressed like that. Like, what? Oh my God. Mm-mm-mm. I was just thinking, like, why can't killing be free will then? You know what I'm saying? Because if a motherfucker feel like they can touch you in their right for free will, then why can't you kill them in return for free will, right? Because how dare you? I mean, it's all fun and games, right? Oh, you slapped my ass. Oh, I just stabbed you. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the, like, shit? Why one of them got to be a crime and the other one not? Like, shit. Ooh, girl. Like, what the fuck? We know that, this has always been a man's world, but they can have this shit. They can have it. I don't give a fuck. Y'all can have this motherfucker. But that's pretty much my thoughts on that right now. Yeah, definitely, watch out for your daughters. Make sure that we aren't training them to be just as pleasing towards men in a way of like devaluing themselves, to where, hopefully they'll be able to have a reciprocal relationship and be with a man that understands that your desires and your comfort and your pleasure is just as important as their desires, their comfort, and their pleasures. Um, yeah, we have to create more of a reciprocal atmosphere right now, more so than ever, because the example that we're setting now is the example for our children, you guys. So yeah, that sometimes it can be concerning which way things are swinging, because we have, like, a lot of people wonder why the women are acting out the way they're acting out nowadays. And this is why I say that a man is a leader. Even if we don't necessarily want to take orders from the man, what I'm saying is that a man who leads in love and compassion, with strength and direction and clarity, can really rule a nation with the support of his woman and the support of his village. But somebody ruling just for ego trips, just to say that women are less than men, so therefore they must be the servants to men. Y'all gonna be in really, really, really a rude awakening when you really find out and discover. I'm not saying that God is man or woman, but I just want you to understand that God will protect women because women are the closest thing that you guys have to women. God's gift to man is woman, because we're the closest connection that you'll have to spiritual. I mean, that's if, don't get me wrong, that's if that woman is aligned and in tune with her spirituality and her emotions. You see what I'm saying? But for as long as you try to deny the strength in the um pure amazement of a woman, then this world is going to be totally out of balance. Though, don't get me wrong, us divine feminines, we're definitely carrying it and seeing it through. So I was saying that because it's like a lot of men complain about how women are right now. Women are so promiscuous. Women don't want to settle down anymore. Women are playing games and they're shaking their asses and going to clubs and not giving a fuck. Well, I won't agree to all of that because I mean I don't shake my ass in the club, but I was one of the good girls that stay at home, read books and all that bullshit. But yeah, women are tired of your shit. Women are tired of men, a lot of men shit, especially listen, it's to the point of where a woman is starting to identify, and I'm talking about collectively and consciously, women are starting to identify their strength and their value. And with that being said, it's like a woman doesn't feel as though she has to bend over backwards anymore to get the attention of a man, especially a man who isn't respecting her, especially a man who is ego tripping, especially a man who is envious and jealous of her. It's just weird. Like you guys be wanting some type of power. You guys have so much of a power trip. Why? Why are men so invested in this power trip? Like if a woman really, like basically, if you're truly a man, even a woman who's not interested in you romantically will automatically respect your energy when you come around because your presence will exude that I have respect in how I carry myself and I demand respect and how I'm acknowledged. Like a woman is going to be like, oh shit, like there's an energy about it. So for a lot of men to be like, I'm the man and the woman should say as I do or say as I do as I say or whatever the fuck, right? And you're getting your knowledge from a book written by man. It's like a one-sided story, like because I say so type shit. What? Because who say what? No, I can't get jiggy with that. I won't get jiggy with that. I am very, very interested to see what the divine feminine does to rise this, bringing balance to the situation, bringing balance to the imbalance. It's gonna be really interesting to see how these things unfold. But shit, while they unfold, and I'm definitely staying out the way because y'all thought process really be fucking my head up. Like shit, I be having to take a moment to like breathe because like what the fuck did you just say this to? Like I just can't believe that you get some of the thoughts out of the people that you get them from. And we love our people. But I just can't believe y'all like and you thought that made sense. How? I don't know. Some things all I can do is say I don't know. I don't know. And some things all I can do is laugh. All you can do is laugh sometimes. All right, that's all I got on that situation. Let me know your thoughts. Hey, what are you thinking? All right, you guys. TTYL. I gotta do a better way. Something like that. I don't know. But TTYL, I'll talk to y'all later. Hope you enjoyed the video.